Welcome to our first class on left-hand piano techniques. We're going to start things off quite simple, and as the course progresses, the classes will start to get a bit more difficult, but let's start with some of the easy peasy stuff. Your left hand can simply play a chord, let's say C major, and pulse on the main beats. Now, if your song has 3 main beats, you would have 3 pulses, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But as most of us know, most music is in 4 beats, so we're going to focus on a 4-beat pulse. Now, the Beatles used to use this all the time, and quite often there would be a small variation between how we would play a left-hand part like this. One version will be a little bit more slow and held, possibly using the pedal, and the other version is going to be a little bit more short and staccato. In other words, we're going to play the notes quickly, but we're not playing fast, we're leaving a lot of space after we play those notes. So even staccato, I think a lot of people, when they first hear the word play fast, think it has to be played really quickly, but it could be, right? There could be lots of space after these. So let's start to explore how both of those playing styles of this left-hand pulse would sound when we're working with 4 beats. So here's a really classic example. What about Hey Jude? So I'm just pulsing the left hand slowly, giving the main underlying beat a bit of that harmonic pulse. So another thing with this pulsing is you don't just play 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to follow the accent rules within classical music or Western classical music in that when we're working with 4 beats, usually there is a strong beat followed by a weak beat, a medium strong beat followed by another weak beat. For any of you that are music notation experts, you know that understanding this relationship between strong and weak beats later ends up giving us some of the rules that we have to follow when notating music. But for now, we're just going to focus on this strong, weak, medium, weak. Even strong, weak would sound fine. So it's not. It's more of a strong, weak, medium, weak, strong, weak, medium, weak. That's going to give you a little bit more of a stylistic lift by playing it that way, but you can play it with 4 static, just 1, 2, 3, 4 sort of chords, and as you develop, add in some of these little rhythmic details. Here's another example of a Beatles song, Yellow Submarine in this case, where we're playing a more staccato left hand, just giving a short snippet of the song to help you understand how this would sound from a very popular song. How about now notice that left hand, very short. Now both of those examples were major, but you could also play in a minor key, staccato, or more slow and connected. So just as an improvised example, okay, or again the other version. Just letting that left hand help us find the underlying beat and playing basic chords. You'll notice that I'm also jumping around between what we call root position chords in this left hand. In other words, I'm always keeping my left hand pinky on the root of the chord. So if it's a C major chord, my pinky plays a C. If it's a G chord, my pinky plays a G. In the next class, we will discuss inversions and how that can smooth out the left hand process a little bit. But for right now, we're really just focused on the idea of keeping this pulse. And there's something to be said, although it can sound a bit elementary, jumping between root position chords, sometimes that's the sound that we want. We want it to not feel too serious. And it's also a skill all on its own, sort of like throwing darts. The idea is our pinky is jumping from C to G. Now you might be thinking, but Josh, the whole chord is jumping from C area down to a G area, we'll say. But providing the shape is the same, especially in this case, C majors all whites with skips, G majors all whites with skips, you could just aim one finger, in this case the pinky, and keep your hand in the same shape. Like imagine my hand was made of stone. I'm going to use my other hand to grab my arm. So this is done with the right hand. So pinky's on C, my hand is made of stone, it can't move. It can't move its shape anyway, but I've moved my arm down here. And all I did was aim the pinky down to that next note. Now, if it's not the same shape, keep in mind, your hand isn't going to be changing that much. A lot of students I'll see, they sort of, when they're moving from one chord to the next, either they'll take their fingers this way off the keyboard and then look for that next chord, or their hands will contract or expand. But like, here's C major, here's A major, here's A flat major, here's F sharp, here's B major. They're all subtle changes, and I can visualize the chord. My teacher had me doing that for quite some time when I was studying pop music. At the beginning of each lesson, he would have me hold up my hands, he would say a chord, I would have to give the shape, and then I would have to try to keep my hands perfectly still like statues, and then just aim the bottom fingers for example, A flat major. So you can feel free to try things that way, but the point here is that the movement of the fingers between these chord position changes, if you're always on root position chords, is going to be very subtle. So still make sure you're aiming that pinky, make the subtle movement as you're going, and that'll help you get to that next chord with a little bit more accuracy. Now I'm going to introduce a song that I've written called On Again, Off Again. And after this class, I'm going to sort of extend it with a short performance of this piece, and I'm going to provide you with the music, so do make sure you're looking for that PDF. The idea with this song is, the title gives it away, On Again, Off Again. The right hand is going to be lined up with that left hand pulse, and at times it's going to be on the offbeat. It's going to play in between the chord. As a very short sample, here's how it sounds. So another thing that's going to help you with is playing staccato in the left hand, but playing more smooth and connected legato in the right hand. So again, as I want to say in the next class, but it's not really a class, it's just going to be a short performance video where you can see me playing this song. And again, watch out for that PDF because you can download it, learn it on your own. And I would recommend try to listen for other pop songs or songs in whatever style you enjoy listening to that might use this left hand technique. It's used a lot, and it's so simple that for the most part, we've already covered the basics. But as an exercise, something you can try is just playing C major 4 times, up to C sharp 4 times, up to D, just to make sure you really got all your major chords. Once you've got that, then you can try moving by fourths or fifths, so you can get used to these leaps. Now, generally a fourth or a fifth will be sort of the biggest harmonic leap that you would make. Rarely do chords jump down a seventh. I'm not saying they don't, but it's just kind of rare. So maybe going down by fifths would be a good exercise for you. Now, any of you who've gone down by fifths in any other exercise know that they run out pretty quick. So go down by a fifth, up by a fourth, down by a fifth, up by a fourth. It would sound like this. So you could do all majors originally. So you could try minors like C minor, down to F minor, B flat minor, down to E flat minor. And then once you're comfortable with those exercises, start to learn a bunch of songs, possibly songs you already know or songs that you want to learn using this style. So again, the next class, non-class, is going to be me performing On Again, Off Again so you can hear the whole piece. Please feel free to download that PDF so you can learn the song and benefit the most from this playing style. I'll see you in the next class.